Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Some short items, then on to the main subject. First item, former Clinton advisor, that would be Dick Morris, quote, Biden should be required to have a test for Alzheimer's disease, unquote. It's obvious that something is going on with Joe Biden, as I've said in the past, and as others are increasingly saying, and it may become more apparent as the campaign goes on. We're not just talking about gaffes. We're not talking about Barack Obama accidentally saying 57 states or Marine Corps instead of Marine Corps. It really is something about which the country should be concerned, whether somebody in Biden's condition should be president, if it really is a medical matter, not a matter of being, well, a medical matter or just simply getting old, and people become senile sometimes when they get old. Let me give you some quotes here. A former advisor to President Bill Clinton said he's concerned about 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's mental acuity. Dick Morris, who was Clinton's political advisor and later campaign manager, argued that the former vice president's memory lapses make President Trump's re-election more likely, which is the political aspect, but quote, Biden should be required to have a test for Alzheimer's disease. We can't elect a president who has that deterioration of the brain setting in at the start of his term, unquote, Morris said. Quote, we're entitled to know that. His personal inability to function will become more and more apparent, particularly on the debate stage. He's becoming senile or coming down with Alzheimer's, unquote. Now, on this matter of Biden's mental acuity, the deterioration of his mental acuity becoming, as Morris says, and as I just said, becoming more apparent as the campaign progresses, look at this item. DNC changes debate format. Bernie staffer says they're protecting Biden. Another debate format change may benefit former Vice President Joe Biden, and at least one staffer for independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is questioning the move. What he's talking about, obviously, is that this is not the first time. Remember, the debate rules were changed once to allow Mike Bloomberg to participate in a debate. They were just changed again recently to keep Tulsi Gabbard out of the debate. She qualified for the next debate. They changed the rules so that she cannot qualify now. That is two changes so far, both of which changes benefit Biden. This is number three, this Bernie staffer is claiming. According to the Democratic National Committee, the next debate, which is all but certain to be a head-to-head matchup between Sanders and Biden, will allow both candidates to be seated and take audience questions. This would be a dramatic change from the previous debates during which the candidates faced questions from the moderators and stood behind lecterns for several hours. Quote, the DNC has changed the format for the next debate where Joe Biden would have had to stand at a lectern for 2 hours and answer questions from professional moderators to one where both men will be seated and answer questions from the audience, unquote, tweeted Common Dreams senior editor and writer Owen Higgins. Jeff Weaver, senior advisor to Sanders, asked, quote, why does Joe Biden not want to stand toe-to-toe with Senator Sanders on the debate stage March 15th and have an opportunity to defend his record and articulate his vision for the future, unquote. DNC spokeswoman, you know what? Let's stop here for a second, amuse ourselves, have a little fun for a minute. I have in the past been accused correctly on some occasions, by the way, I'll admit, to mispronouncing names and places. So you see that name there, you can see it in the quote. Here is the big question: will I pronounce that name correctly? I'll wait a second. Get your bets in. Get your bets in now. I'll wait. Okay, got your bets in. Here we go. DNC spokeswoman Zoe Teehee Nohase. I did it. I got it right. I'm not going to take a chance on pronouncing that name again, though. Sorry. So we'll just go on. I got it right, though. I got it right. Explained that the move was designed to give both candidates more time and more relaxed format in which to make their positions clear on important issues. Quote, this format provides candidates longer response times and for the first time will incorporate questions from undecided voters in the audience, unquote, she said. I don't believe that for a minute. Now, the defense that this woman makes, you can read the article. I always link to these articles. I link to them in the description, so you can read the whole article. But she says this is not unusual to have candidates answer questions from the audience. It's the town hall format. But what is unusual, as has happened twice already, is to change the rules after they have already been made. Now, they might want to have a town hall format in a future debate, but, well, this happens when you have the candidates debating from the two parties. When you have the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate debating, they agree ahead of time on what the rules will be. But this is different because it's primary debates, but also it's my understanding from this article that they were going to do it the way they've always been doing it. They have been doing it a certain way, always the same way, up to now, every debate. So it seems clear to me that the DNC, again, at the last minute, changed the rules to accommodate Joe Biden. And now that I think of it, in these town hall formats, I believe the candidates were always standing. And now that I think of it, these have always been in the campaign debates between the two parties' candidates. I don't remember a town hall format for primary debates. I really don't. So this is completely different. Again, as I have said in the past, it looks increasingly like the fix is in. That the DNC wants to stop Sanders. They are pulling out all the stops to stop Sanders, and they are not being shy or subtle about it. It's obvious what they are doing. Now the question is that others have raised, does Bernie Sanders really want to win? Because this is the tightrope that he is walking. The tightrope he is walking is that if he wants to win, he is going to have to really attack Biden on his mental acuity, for one thing, and on corruption, on the Ukraine, on other matters. Will he do it? This is the tightrope. On the one hand, he wants to be president, Sanders does. On the other hand, he does not want Trump to get reelected. So how much does he want to damage Biden? How far is he willing to go? Is he willing to damage him enough to cost him the election, cost Biden the election, if Biden ultimately becomes the nominee? That is a tightrope that he is walking, because if he really wants to be president, then he should be demanding, as Dick Morris suggested, he should be demanding that Biden get tested for Alzheimer's and that the results be published. It's not an intelligence test, it's a medical test. You take medical samples and you analyze them, and we could know whether Biden has Alzheimer's. Then that would still leave the question of whether he is becoming senile. But there are all these issues on which to attack Biden. If Sanders wants to be president, then he will attack Biden, because Trump's going to do it anyways. Trump is going to do it anyways. So what is the point of holding back and then letting Biden get demolished by Trump? Might as well do it now, and if Biden comes through, then he will be stronger in the election. And that's all the advice I'm going to give to Bernie Sanders and the Democrats today. Thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. You can put any questions you might have in the comment section below the video, as well as comments. Comments go in the comments section. That's why it's called comment section. You can also suggest future topics. I would love more of you to subscribe. So subscribe, 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 and finally come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.